You're watching the Southland Conference on ESPN. Abilene, Texas in the middle of December, and it's a crosstown matchup. The McMurray Warhawks against the Abilene Christian Wildcats from the Teague Special Events Center. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the studio. Zach Carlisle alongside Owen Simpson. Glad to have you with us. Well, McMurray from NCAA Division III, Abilene Christian NCAA Division I. That's the matchup today. Let's dive right in to our impact players as we look at a couple of guards in today's game. Ariane Mason of ACU, Remy Minor of McMurray.
Yeah, Ariane Mason coming off a solid performance in last game against Texas Tech, leading the way 14 points. But he's not just a scorer, he is a facilitator on this offense for the Wildcats. And then the other side with Remy Minor leading the way 20 points last game. He is the leading scorer for this team as well. He is going to be key in this matchup if McMurray wants to stay in this one.
Yeah, Minor averaging 17 points per game for the Warhawks. Take a look at the series history, and this is meeting number 88 between these two crosstown teams, and ACU, a longtime Division II member, McMurray Division III for the longest time as well. But ACU has been in control of the series for a long time. They didn't play from 1974 all the way till 2018. I'm looking forward to this game here today. In particular, Abilene Christian coming off of a very impressive loss to Texas Tech on Wednesday. We'll see how this team performs early on. The ball's in the air, and the Warhawks control the tip. Off we go from Abilene. McMurray on offense first. It's DJ Worrell, number 23. Good rebounder in the paint. And McMurray, the other side, Jordan Sherman, trapped by Mason. This is a great defense for Abilene Christian. And great might be an understatement. A three offline from Landon Stevens. Starting lineups. Joe Pleasant back in the lineup for ACU inside. Junior out of Kansas. And ACU goes right into the paint. And Ariane Mason with the layup. Three-guard set of Daniels, Miller, and Mason. Big 7-footer Cole inside. McMurray's starting five. There's Minor, averaging 17 a game. Stevens, Webb, Worrell, as we mentioned, a good rebounder, and Sherman, the junior out of Lubbock. A travel on the Warhawks gets us started. And I think the storyline today, Abilene Christian, what do they look like? Boy, did they look really good in that game Wednesday against Texas Tech.
And they really did. And the thing that really sticks out again is the defense, holding Texas Tech to a season-low 51 points. And not only that, but also holding them to 28% shooting on offense. And that's not just a season low for Texas Tech, but the lowest shooting percentage in over 5 years for Texas Tech.
Joe Pleasant offline on a three. Junior out of Overland Park, Kansas. McMurray trying to run a half-court set. And it could be challenging with an ACU defense giving up just 54.5 points per game. That is top 11 in the country. Damian Daniels, the guy who dives all over the floor as well. It's an interesting starting five with ACU. Reggie Miller and Damian Daniels are both point guards, and they have them both out there in the starting lineup, but they love what both of those guys bring to the table.
Yeah, the ball movement has been phenomenal, not only this season, but in seasons past with these guys, too. It's a great way to just create some separation inside like that.
We may see a lot of that this afternoon. Colton Cole, the big 7-footer. McMurray is not going to match up with the size of Abilene Christian.
Oh, without doubt, and that's why they have to be talking more than ever on defense if they want to avoid that in the future.
Colton Cole, redshirt senior out of San Angelo, Texas. He's the leading scorer on this team. And this is Minor. First attempt from distance. Couldn't get it. Cole the leading scorer, but no one's averaging double figures for ACU. Pretty easy for Big 34 here.
Yeah, good positioning inside the paint and no resistance for the 7-footer. They'll try and do that, I'm sure, more going forward.
Well, there they go. Back to Cole. His tip-in is good. Back-to-back buckets.
And a clear mismatch inside with Colton Cole. He had a little bit of a struggle against Texas Tech, finding some separation inside, but a good way to start this game at home.
Mid-range jumper, Devon Webb, the sophomore out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Gets McMurray on the board. Thought Daniels would release the three. Mason does, way deep. Minor controls the board. Landon Stevens, number 5, the senior out of Garland, Texas. And the guards on the perimeter for McMurray have to be very careful with their ball movement. ACU guards defend as well as anyone, and just a ton of subs come in for Abilene Christian. Ariane Simmons, Makai Morris, Emmanuel Allen, all out there. Sherman, mid-range game, no dice. Colton Cole goes into Ariane Simmons, and he's fouled. Simmons, a sophomore out of Little Rock, Arkansas. So much depth with ACU. They can turn to anybody on any given day.
Yeah, it's a team that can go really 10 deep in any matchup, and it's not necessarily to their detriment either, because a lot of players off of this bench contribute to this team in different ways. For Ariane Simmons, he is a defensive powerhouse inside with his pure size and strength that can really change the outcome of the game.
Simmons, playing in 31 games a year ago, was the second leading rebounder for ACU, a team that won over 20 games last year. And ACU is not a good free throw shooting team. Neither of these teams has been very good at the line so far this year. Off the glass from Sherman, no good. That was evident in Abilene Christian's loss to Texas Tech as well. Neither of those two teams were good at the line either. Makai Morris, no good on the jumper. A defensive start. The teams are a combined 4 of 11 from the floor. Minor's going to be the focal point for this Abilene Christian defense, averaging 17 a game. It's a slow start, 6-2, ACU.
An explosive dunk, a fast break, and the thrill of victory. Basketball is back, and so is the Southland Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament in Katy. March 10th through the 14th at the Merrill Center. Get your tickets online at Ticketmaster.com. The countdown to Katy has begun.
For 45 years, Hanner Chevrolet GMC has helped business owners get the job done. And as your Business Elite dealer, we make sure you get the savings and service you deserve. Shop our great selection of work-ready trucks and vans in stock today and enjoy perks like hassle-free buying, priority service, and on-site upfits. And business owners, be sure to take advantage of year-end tax benefits. So stop by today and see why people drive from all over Texas to buy Hanner.
For years, I trained to be the best linebacker on the field. That drive made me a top performer at the NFL Combine, and I played 5 seasons in the NFL. Now I'm working toward another dream, building my own business, training athletes to help improve their performance. I want to be the best businessman I can, so I'm getting my MBA at ACU.
Get your degree online at acu.edu.
So you've got an Abilene Christian team that's only scoring about 70, a little less than 70 a game. McMurray's only scored about 67. We'll see if the ACU offense can get it going a little bit. But we got a couple of defensive teams, and it's evident so far, 6-2 early on.
Yeah, and certainly the case with Abilene Christian, but McMurray still trying to rely on its defense a little bit more with the 0-4 start. They've had a little bit of struggles on the other side.
Put back, play game in for Abilene Christian off the Emmanuel Allen miss. Everything's come in the paint for ACU.
And that's exactly where they should emphasize it, at least starting early, because they had struggles with that against Texas Tech to start the first half. They want to change that around.
Minor rise and fire. From the free throw line, Remy Minor, the junior from Houston. His first year with McMurray, the transfer from Lamar State College, Port Arthur. A turnover on Abilene Christian. I think there was a lot of positives, though, for ACU to take away from that game Wednesday night against 17th ranked Texas Tech. And they were in it from start to finish and just lost 51-44. It was a good game.
Yeah, a lot of positive things to say, along with head coach Texas Tech for Coach Beard, saying that Abilene Christian is one of the best defenses in the country. That's a strong statement for any coach.
Especially coming from him, knowing that's one of the great defenses in the country as well. That was DJ Worrell with the bucket. The Warhawks. Simmons is double teamed. Extra pass for Daniels in the corner. And it's Worrell with the rebound, the leading rebounder for McMurray. Over 7 rebounds per game. Step back. It's a 3, and it's the first one of the game, and it's Matt Pena. Knocks down a triple to give McMurray the lead. 6.5 in.
And one thing that sticks out in the difference between the Texas Tech game and this one right now is McMurray not only is making shots to start the game, but also is finding holes in separation to connect on these baskets.
It's a 7-0 run in 70 seconds for these Warhawks. And 6th-year head coach Zach Pickelman getting his guys ready to play. Here's a team that's 0-4, and they've played their conference opponents. They have not been conference games. League play doesn't start until January the 7th, but they've played Sul Ross State and Mary Hardin Baylor, Hardin Simmons, East Texas Baptist. Those are the teams that they will play in their American Southwest Conference schedule. Joe Pleasant goes up and down in the paint.
Yeah, Pleasant has been a little suspiciously quiet to start this season on offense. They're going to hope to see a little bit more of that as the season progresses.
Fouled out in about 12 minutes against Texas Tech on Wednesday. And then Stevenson is going to draw a holding foul on Ariane Simmons. It's got to be in the paint for ACU. And for McMurray, it's probably got to be at the three-point line on their offensive possessions. Double team on Minor. Pass tapped away, and Simmons, one of the better defenders for ACU. They get it up to Daniels for the lay-in.
And if McMurray wants to stay in this game, they are going to have to rely on good, safe passing, which really drove that 7-0 run for McMurray.
4 early turnovers for McMurray. Stevens no good on the 3. Akai Morris getting guys open. Logan McLaughlin, the sharpshooting freshman, couldn't connect, and Worrell with a rebound. Another foul on Simmons. It's his second. Shaden Campbell trying to take it in. Draw a foul. Campbell playing in just one game. It's just his second game out there for the Warhawks, the sophomore to San Antonio. So Ariane Simmons leaves the game with 2 fouls. Big Colton Cole's back in. This feels like a game that Colton Cole could absolutely flourish in. And he's already had a couple of looks at the paint for Abilene Christian. That's turnover number 5 on McMurray to start the afternoon.
And for having 5 turnovers to start the game, they are fortunate to only be down 3 in this game.
I think they're playing well so
Yeah.
far. I think they've got to be pleased with the effort they've seen. McLaughlin goes to Pleasant, too strong. Pinballs to Cole for the lay-in. Colton Cole with 6 points to lead all scorers. Rob Charles, sophomore point guard number 1, and that is a friendly roll for Campbell.
Good job by Campbell creating a little bit of space against Pleasant there for the shot.
Corian Mason left alone. Abilene Christian still has yet to hit a 3 and has the early lead, 14-11. McMurray has made 4 of its last 5 shots, hanging in with Abilene Christian. We are about halfway through this first half, 14-11. Abilene Christian. Zach Carlisle, Owen Simpson, the Southland Conference on ESPN. Foul off the ball, Reggie Miller taking a hit. What have you seen so far? It's looked a little ugly at times. Defenses, we've only seen 1 3 in the game. It's kind of a lower scoring, and McMurray's got a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, McMurray has had to honestly rely on their offense to stay in this game, shooting at 50% so far. That's a solid number against an Abilene Christian defense.
Reggie Miller offline on a 3. Offensive rebound to Pleasant. Joe Pleasant playing with some energy. Getting his second start of the year, and there he goes again off the glass. Oh, and a steal on the inbound. Daniels, no. McMurray fortunate that that didn't result in more points for ACU. Turnaround 3, Shaden Campbell.
And that's exactly what they've done throughout this game, is shooting the ball well on offense. If they continue to shoot like that, they'll have a chance in this game.
Cole's pass picked off by Campbell, who's had a good sequence, and he forces a foul on Mekhi Morris. Campbell's 3.
And just, you can see the confidence with that shot right there. No hesitation whatsoever. He's up to 5 points in this game.
Yeah, his season high is 10. He's already halfway to that total, with plenty of game to go. McMurray can tie or take the lead here. Jordan Hall, standing at 6'6". This is a bad pass of the paint. Tend to shoot for the Warhawks, and more good defense. Well, a foul first. Ball was poked away from Campbell. And the foul on Abilene Christian, Reggie Miller, for the defensive foul. Inbound 3, Pena rims out. Abilene Christian's 0 for 6 from the three-point line to start this one. Mason. 0 for 7. Pleasant, put back, foul. He's going to shoot 2.
And you can add that to the list of reasons why it is so close is the one-dimensional offense from Abilene Christian. They're doing a great job getting inside the paint, but they've had a lot of missed wide-open three-point shots.
Already 5 offensive rebounds for ACU. Wasn't good on the free throw. Preseason first team All-Southland Conference for Joe Pleasant after a second team All-League honor a year ago. Tobias Cameron, number 11, checking in for the first time for ACU. Defense to offense. No, the layup no good for Mekhi Morris. That's rare to see ACU miss bunnies like that at the rim.
And that's the second time they've had the numbers on offense and still can't connect. Definitely a lot of questions on this fast break offense. They're going to need to correct that.
McMurray shooting 50% from the floor so far, but has taken 8 less attempts from the field, and that's a big part of it. Why? The 7th turnover. Now the layup on the left side from Morris. No, rather Miller. It was Reggie Miller who converts.
And a good cut to the left side of the basket when he had the one-on-one. Now the Wildcats need to have a little bit more rhythm now on offense with this 6-point lead.
A 3. Devon Webb, transfer from Lamar Community College. Is that offensive? Yes, it is. Charge on Shaden Campbell. First charge of the game.
And that's Campbell's 3rd foul already in the first half, and a big reason why they've stayed competitive on offense is shooting. So that's going to be a crucial piece that we'll see later throughout the first half.
Yeah, a guy who can create his shot. Joe Pleasant takes it.
Yeah, and a good job just getting in front of him just in time. Looked like he had his feet set. So another costly turnover here for McMurray.
Morris lobbing. Cole just bats it out. Keeps it alive. Tough shot to go. Mekhi Morris, the senior out of Philadelphia.
And that is a nice floater off of the glass. Made it look a lot easier than it actually is.
Landed Stevens on Pleasant. It's a loose ball. 10 to shoot. It's been all Stevens on the possession. And he missed it long. Morris. Cole. Got it. Timeout on the floor. The lead is 10 for ACU. The 88th meeting between McMurray and Abilene Christian.
Want to welcome all of you here and all of you watching online on this great day in Abilene Christian University history.
I want to invite you officially to join the Southland Conference on July 1, 2013. Thank you. Thank you.
As exciting as the overall prospect of going Division I was for all of the many reasons, the first thing you think about if you're a sports fan, you think basketball.
To make a jump like this to the highest level of collegiate athletics, there is a lot of excitement in this community.
Away from Mason, it'll count if it goes, it's good! It's good! Mason buries the three-pointer!
Anytime you're trying to build something, you got to get the players in place first, and you got to change the locker room and the culture. And I mean, we've got a bunch of high-character kids and play the way we're supposed to play. The wins will come.
As excited as we were for all sports, everybody was thinking, maybe one day, March Madness, could it be?
Yes! They can feel it all over ACU Nation.
It's the Southland Conference on ESPN. Abilene Christian with a 10-point lead over McMurray. Zach Carlisle alongside Owen Simpson. Glad to have you with us. It's an 8-0 run for ACU. It looks like they've started to find their groove on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, it's been forcing turnovers on defense. You have 8 turnovers for McMurray here in the first half, and then the shooting has been predominantly coming inside the paint for these Wildcats. Colton Cole doing a phenomenal job. 8 points, not a miss yet.
3-minute scoring drought for McMurray, trying to break a full court press. And a mid-range jumper, Remy Minor, going to get a second chance. And they're going to leave Campbell out there with 3 fouls. They need his offense, I think, out there for the Warhawks. Stevens driving charge. Taken by Tobias Cameron, and that's the second offensive foul on McMurray today.
And despite the turnover, though, you love to see from McMurray beating the Wildcats off of the dribble. It seems like every time they drive in, and then getting opportunities for second and third chance points, just don't get it that time.
13 minutes into this game. That's a loose ball, turnover, and Pena had it swatted away. Pena got the steal, but now we're seeing both teams turn it over a bit. And now Pena's in the corner for 3.
And before that make, we saw it was a little bit of sloppy basketball on both ends. And now the offense finally gets a victory there.
That block at the other end from Abilene Christian was on was from Ariane Simmons. Morris, that triple attempt is no good. ACU's 0 for 8 from the three-point line. I think that's going to be the question all season long. You know, today could be kind of an irrelevant question. That 3 from Stevens, no good. But Abilene Christian's going to need their offense at times, and there are some inconsistencies there when it comes to Southland Conference play. Clay Gaiman, you know, had a red-hot start to the season, and he's definitely cooled off over the last couple of games.
Yeah, he has 0 for 5 going back to the last matchup, or excuse me, the last couple of shots. He shot against Texas Tech, didn't even hit the rim, and he has really struggled to get that confidence back, hoping this can be a bounce-back game for him.
Because shooters, they have to. Shooters are going to shoot the ball. They have to, and have to think that everyone's going to go in. That one's tapped away and a turnover. Colby Cork, check again. Here's the block from Ariane Simmons.
A good job on the steal, but...
Or Emmanuel Allen, rather.
Yeah, Emmanuel Allen just finding himself, getting in a right position to even have an attempt on that block. And what he really showed off there was his vertical, being able to get up there and swat that one away.
Got to be one of the more exciting players to watch. His athleticism is through the roof for ACU. Is that another charge? Yes, it is. Clay Gaiman takes it that time. Colby Cork with the offensive foul. It's probably ACU's specialty defensively.
It really is. They do a great job at setting their feet, getting in the right position for the offensive fouls. They got a few against Texas Tech. They were definitely wanting more. They've done a great job all season on that.
One bounce into 3, no good from McLaughlin. Yeah, he gets the steal. Everybody's playing defense for ACU, and he gets a contested lay-in.
And amazing control there from McLaughlin with the contact, good steal, good effort out off of that missed three-pointer.
Showing he can do a little bit more than just knock down the triple. Freshman out of Carrollton, Texas, had 17. earlier in the year. 5 threes against Howard Payne. Abilene Christian with their defense in the inside game, giving them a 9-point lead. Miller to McLaughlin. There's a lid on the rim from the three-point line.
But great ball movement on offense, trying to find that open shot, not settling. Just can't get that one to fall.
That one's good from distance. Landon Stevens. McMurray's got 4 triples. Gaiman, no. Allen, no. McMurray's looked fantastic in this first half. That's a tough shot, and that's a foul. The Warhawks are just within 6 at the under 4 break. It's a game at the Teague Center in Abilene, 26-20. Maybe a surprising score so far as we're at the final 3.5 minutes of the half.
Yeah, the factor in this game has to be Abilene Christian cannot shoot from 3, and McMurray can. 4 3-pointers for McMurray, and the Wildcats are 0 for 11 from deep.
And both teams have struggled as of late from the field. The teams are a combined 3 of their last 18 for field goals. Personal foul was on Reggie Miller prior to the timeout. Here's Remy Minor at the line for the Warhawks, and it has been a struggle to shoot it so far for the leading scorer on the season for McMurray. Just 2.5 for Minor. He misses both. Where does Abilene Christian go on this side of the floor? Maybe it's to Joe Pleasant. Off the window, no good, and there's a foul. Searching for answers on offense.
Yeah, they just need to find something to work for them, whether that's just taking the ball inside. I say that's probably what you do, given your advantage already with the mismatches inside. Get some shots to fall inside. That'll create some more separation outside. Sooner or later, this Abilene Christian team is going to start making shots from deep.
Yeah, Pleasant's got 6 so far. Cole's got 8. There's 14 of the 26 from the big posts in the paint for Abilene Christian. Pleasant in the season at the foul line, 60%. And we have seen quite the scoring drought right now. Little floater up ahead, and a catch and a release. DJ Worrell. 4-point game. Manuel Allen was wide open. It's a foul first. Landon Stevens. Double foul. Stevens and Joe Pleasant. 1 on each side.
And we're seeing what we saw last time Abilene Christian took the court against Texas Tech was struggle on offense. You know, this team's on pace just to get over 50 points. They only got to 44 last game.
And Abilene Christian had just 14 at half. Cameron Steele for 3, and that's out of bounds to McMurray.
And it's not like these shots are bad attempts from the three-point line. They're just not falling. 0 for 12. At what point in time do you say just stop shooting from deep? It's hard to say.
ACU's 39% from the three-point line. Top 40 in the country coming in. Today, not so much. 2.5 until the halftime break. McMurray a chance to cut into it deeper, and that's Stevens missing the 3. Chance to run. Daniels. Offensive foul. Charge taken. Matt Pena may have been the one.
And it's just a mess for Abilene Christian. A lot of missed opportunities from McMurray on the offensive side. They could have had some shots to fall, and then just a little too aggressive on offense for Damian Daniels.
And it was Remy Minor who took the charge for the Warhawks. Hey, if you're not scoring, you got to find a way to do things other ways. He's got 4 rebounds and takes a charge. Stevens, another chance. No good again. He's 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Abilene Christian will get it. Under 2 to go until halftime. Cameron Steele, 1-on-1. And it does not go in Abilene Christian's way. Stevens won that battle. Cork driving in, contested, lays it in. It's a 2-point game.
And all the momentum is on McMurray's side. A 7-0 run as we near the halftime break.
Joe Pleasant, that's a much-needed basket from Abilene Christian.
And that's a shot that he heavily relied on last season. Hasn't fallen as much for him this year as he's wanted, but hopefully, for the Wildcats' sake, that's the beginning of more things on offense.
Final minute of the half. Stevens, another chance, another miss. 1 of 7 from the three-point line. He's taken half of the threes for McMurray. This is McLaughlin. Still nothing. Cameron Steele is fouled with 35 ticks to go. Offensive rebounds have kept ACU afloat on this side of the floor.
Yeah, 7 more shot attempts than McMurray. 3 more makes. That's the difference in the game here.
Is that? Nope. Wow. No good. Steele, the freshman out of Excelsior, Minnesota. 2-time all-conference player at Minnetonka High School. Rumor has it the weather's not so good back home for Steele. Middle of December. Gets in the scoring column, and checking in is Jamison Richardson, number 21 for Abilene Christian. 4-second difference between game and shot clock. A 5-point ACU lead. They had a 10-point lead at the 7.5-minute mark. Minor, lobbing. Couldn't finish, was Worrell. And now a foul as the ball was up in the air a few times. And the foul is on Richardson of ACU.
And that is the 4th offensive rebound for McMurray. Abilene Christian only has 6, so despite the size disadvantage, they're really still making an impact inside the paint on offense, just like Abilene Christian.
This is 2 free throws. The double bonus foul for Worrell, the junior out of El Paso. The transfer from Pasadena City College. He's played each of the last couple of years. Born in Hawaii and grew up in El Paso. Has a chance to make this a 4-point game. That was just the 2nd attempt at the foul line all season. This is the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Last possession of the half, ACU can hold for the final shot. Miller, he was wide open, but they go to Daniels, long 2. And that'll take us to halftime, a surprising development. ACU 29, McMurray 24, halftime on ESPN. Coming up after this. In front at the half, 29-24 in the second half. will be coming up in a little bit. Welcome inside the studio, everybody. Zach Carlisle alongside Owen Simpson. There's the halftime leaders. Colton Cole and Joe Pleasant doing their thing inside. Remy Minor's only got 2 points, but McMurray's still in the game.
Yeah, for Abilene Christian, we thought that we would see a little bit more action inside the paint based on how the game started with Colton Cole really starting the offense, 4 points to get started, and then they started to shift away from the inside into the paint, and then they started missing shots outside from deep, couldn't get those shots to connect. And then Remy Minor, you know, you're only down by 5 points, but the player who is leading your team in points per game this season only has 2 points. I mean, that's not something that you would certainly expect from McMurray's side, and they have to certainly be pleased with that.
You got to figure all 3 of those players will determine the outcome of this game for sure. But I think the biggest question is what's going on out there. It's a 29-24 game. I don't think anybody saw this coming in this first half.
Yeah, we talked about this during the break that Abilene Christian has been one of the better three-point shooting teams this season, and, well, it has not been the case so far. 0 for 13 in the first half. I mean, that is something that even on a bad shooting day is hard to do. So they're going to have to see, okay, what is going on? Let's get some things corrected. And then they're going to have to maybe look just to feed the ball inside a little bit more, because if the shots aren't falling outside, you're going to have to take it inside.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. And there's such a size advantage for Abilene Christian. You figure they're going to win that battle. You got Colton Cole at 7 feet tall, Joe Pleasant 6'8". Those guys are the leading scorers. They have to be really good. And here's our impact players coming in. This was the season numbers for Corian Mason and for Remy Minor. Minor's got 2 points in the first half. Mason's got 2 points in the first half. These guys have not done a lot offensively, as has really nobody in this ballgame.
No, they really haven't. Now, Minor has 4 rebounds, which is another crucial part to this McMurray team, only being down 5. The rebound matchup at halftime, it's 22 apiece, and that's something, again, that was very unexpected with the size advantage that Abilene Christian has. It's a big reason why it's as close as it is right now.
Now, taking a look at the leading scorers for ACU, Colton Cole and Joe Pleasant. That's been what's gone on in the first half for Abilene Christian, but McMurray has just not backed down at all. I think their confidence has to be sky high right now with the way they played in the first half.
Oh, absolutely, especially with their tallest player only being 6'8", Colton Cole being at 7 foot. You would think a clear mismatch inside it. And while Colton Cole has had the ball, he hasn't missed a shot, but they haven't gotten to him as much as they would like, given the current score. And then Joe Pleasant also being a key factor on offense inside for Abilene Christian. But McMurray, whenever Abilene Christian starts rolling on offense, McMurray has responded either with a three-pointer or a good strong take inside. I think the big thing for McMurray is just the ability to create some separation off of the ball on offense, and that's why they have the 24 points in the first half.
Yeah, you saw Shaden Campbell hitting a couple of shots. And the leading scorer has been Matt Pena for McMurray. He's got 6 points to lead the way. Not one guy has just kind of taken over the game on either side. I'm just really curious what both of these offenses are going to look like in the second half, because so far, not so much. It's been a defensive-oriented game, and someone's got to score the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, if you're Abilene Christian, really your goals going into this second half is to just start finding some rhythm on offense, and then defensively, they have to start locking down and boxing out just some fundamental defense that was really lacking in the first half, creating some second chance opportunities for McMurray. And then for McMurray, you're just going to have to keep hoping that Abilene Christian misses those wide open three-point shots like they did in the first half, and then also continue to rebound the ball. That's a big reason why it's been so competitive. Again, 22 apiece, despite being very mismatched in this game.
We mentioned it in the open about that this is the 88th meeting between ACU and McMurray. And to give you a little bit of history on both of these programs, McMurray in Division III out of the American Southwest Conference, they were in the American Southwest when it formed in 1996. They then left to join Division II from 2012 to 14, and then rejoined Division III in 2014 in the American Southwest as well. These two teams did not play, ACU and McMurray, they did not play from 1974 all the way until 2 years ago in 2018. 44 years between playing, and now they're playing. That game went 88-40 a couple of years ago. Not so much here today. McMurray has to be thrilled with sixth-year head coach Zach Pickelman to just be down 5.5.
Oh, absolutely, and especially, again, going off of the leading scorer only having 2 points in the first half. They have heavily relied on being aggressive, going up to get those rebounds, and then also Abilene Christian has kept them in this game by missing so many shots from beyond the perimeter.
What are you expecting to see as we get going early on in this second half? What are you looking for from both of these teams?
I think, again, for Abilene Christian, it's just finding a rhythm on offense. That's something that they lacked severely in the first half, and then McMurray is going to continue to play aggressive. They're playing, you know, this is a win-win situation. If you get blown out, that was expected, and if you stay competitive like you are right now, I mean, that just speaks volumes not only for the basketball team but for the program as well, to be as competitive as it is right now.
And McMurray doesn't have a win yet this year. We'll talk about it coming up as we move throughout the broadcast, but their schedule doesn't get any easier as they leak into January when conference play begins. Off we go with the second half. Abilene Christian starts with it. Corian Mason, just 2 points in the first, and scores a quick 2 to start. 12 seconds into the second stanza. That feels like a guy that's got to get going too, because Corian Mason can create his own shot for Abilene Christian, but very quiet in that first half. And a near steal from Pleasant. Devon Webb, miscommunication there, turnover on the Warhawks.
Yeah, it felt like back in the first half, Abilene Christian just couldn't win those one-on-one matchups on offense, but Mason gets a good start for them on that side, and they'll look to see if they can continue that, get a little bit more rhythm going on this side of the ball.
It's a touchdown lead for ACU. Miller to Joe Pleasant. Yeah, I wouldn't shoot a 3 right now either, but Daniels is going to do it, and he's going to connect. It's the first triple of the game for ACU, and it took them almost 22 minutes.
And that's sometimes what that break can do for you. It can get you a little bit more relaxed. Okay, that's in the past. You missed that many. It's over. Let's start this second half as if it's a new game. We see a good connection there.
Here it is, Damian Daniels.
And they had these opportunities back in the first half, wide open corner threes. They just wouldn't fall for them. And now they're hoping that maybe that creates a little bit of a contagion effect, creating some more three-point opportunities.
That's Reggie Miller diving on the floor, nearly got a steal. That's one of the things that a lot of coaches around college basketball compliment Abilene Christian on too. They're one of the more hardworking teams. They're always on the floor. They're always doing that, trying to create takeaways. And now, a second look at a 3 from Daniels. Back-to-back triples and an early timeout called as the lead is a baker's dozen for ACU.
Telling ACU's story through the perspective of students and for students, and I think that's just a really unique experience.
To work at ACU TV is probably the best experience you will get in a college setting.
Being able to do it for football games like out here is like for game days experience, it was awesome. Being able to see your shots and then being able to look back at it and saying like, wow, that was my shot, it was awesome.
So in my experience during basketball season was amazing. The work on the floor, getting to teach people, and then also getting to be right there with the basketball players. I couldn't compare it to anything I had done before.
ACU has given me so many opportunities that I would have never had at another school. As soon as I started my freshman year, I just dove straight into it. They let me technical direct for ESPN games. I started making features that were shown on ESPN.
This is something that almost no university in America can really offer to their students. To be able to go on air on ESPN and ESPN production for a college student is something that a lot of people don't even think is possible. But here at ACU TV, we're given that opportunity. We're given an opportunity to grow and just be able to experience an atmosphere unlike any of us have seen before.
For us to show that this campus is more than just football or more than just basketball is so important
we're here for the campus. We're here to better the community and show that ACU has a lot of great things going on.
And something that I think is super exciting and really beneficial for the ACU community is we do everything. We have a little bit of something for everybody, and I think that that kind of just elevates in saying we're focused on everybody in community as a whole, and I think that that's really important, and ACU TV does a really good job of showing that.
Well, it's an 8-0 start to this second half for Abilene Christian to push their lead to 13, and probably a little happier Joe Golding right now for ACU. They're starting to look like themselves.
Yeah, especially with Daniels' 2 consecutive threes to finally get this team rolling on offense from outside. Really struggled in that first half.
Minor had it poked away. Reggie Miller, one of the great guards at playing defense for Abilene Christian. Minor, did that hit the backboard and a turnover? They've done a good job as ACU against Remy Minor, who's one of the great scorers for this team.
And they look a lot more aggressive, too, trying to go for that ball in the second half compared to the first 20 minutes. Really paying dividend early here in the final 20.
Pleasant. Maybe a little gun shy because the threes hadn't been going in for ACU. That pass off the hands of Colton Cole, turnover number 6 on the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's one of the few mistakes that Colton Cole's made in this game. A perfect 4 for 4 in the first half, but should have been 5 for 5 there.
Abilene Christian is plus 40 in the second half of games this year. McMurray's minus 49 in the second half of games. And this is a game they're not obviously expected to come in here and beat. I mean, they're not supposed to win this game, but they played about as good of a first half as you could have asked for in a situation like this.
And I'm sure that head coach Joe Golding gave an earful to his players back in the first half at that halftime break to make the adjustments they needed.
There's Miller again with spectacular defense up against McMurray's Rob Charles.
And this is the extra effort that wasn't there in the first half that is now showing a little bit more action here in the first few minutes of the second half. It's something that was missing that they really needed.
13-point Abilene Christian lead. Oh, and there's a stoppage. Let's go back to this.
And it's just the extra effort here. You see diving for the ball. The loose ball right there. Doesn't get the ball, but makes an impact on the possession. And another turnover. That's number 15 now for McMurray.
Yeah, he forced Rob Charles to bounce it on the end line. Another look at a 3. This one off the front side from Daniels. Here's Cole. Little baby hook. Pleasant. How did he do that? And one, Joe Pleasant.
And starting to come alive in the second half, Joe Pleasant. And that is point number 10 now. 8 rebounds, and he is doing a solid job, not just making shots, but also getting rebounds just like that one right there.
A pleasant outcome for the big guy. Got the friendly roll at home.
That was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
I'm good for one of those every other game. You know, Joe Pleasant, though, great history with his family. His dad, Anthony, 14 years as a defensive back in the National Football League, playing for the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Atlanta Falcons, New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers, and the New England Patriots. He won Super Bowls 36 and 37 with New England.
Quite a resume.
Yeah. His son's a pretty good basketball player, too. Inside here, charge, easy call. Colby Cork, the freshman out of Dallas. The charge for McMurray. Another one taken by this ACU defense.
And we talk about this time and time again, but it's true. They are so good at putting themselves in the right position to take the charge. Another big reason of why they've so far dominated this second half 11-0.
I mean, that's Mason coming across the floor. to stop and plant. And the other thing, you have to do it outside the arc that's underneath the basket, because if you're inside of it, there's no offensive foul that will ever be called in there. So it's really, really good from Corian Mason.
And something I love about that even more is Corian Mason is playing aggressive despite just picking up his 3rd foul. You know, if that doesn't go according to plan, you know, that's pickup number 4 early in this second half. So the aggressiveness is something that this Wildcat team is bringing to the table in the second half.
Pleasant's been outside a lot in these offensive sets. Mason is trying to get it into Cole. Daniels. They go around the perimeter. That's great passing, and it's Pleasant who hits a 3. ACU's 3rd triple of the early moments of the second half.
The 3-pointers are contagious, and it's not just for one player, it's for the entire team. When you start 0 for 13 and somebody makes a bucket outside the perimeter, it does become contagious for everybody else.
And a loose ball and a steal, and here come the Wildcats. Mason will shoot 2. Defense to offense all season long is what is going to be the staple of Abilene Christian.
Yeah, head coach Joe Golding emphasized this last year as well. He wants the defense to produce the offense. We didn't see a lot of that in the first half, but now you're up to 17 turnovers for McMurray. You had 11 at the break, so 6 turnovers in 4 minutes. That is exactly what Golding wants to see from his team.
Corian Mason, the senior out of Oklahoma City, and a transfer from Ranger College, 2nd year with ACU. Was 2nd on the team in steals last year with 37. As just a couple of steals coming into today, but you know those numbers will increase as his season goes. The lead is now 21 for ACU. Campbell, this ball's loose. It is out of bounds to the Wildcats. Abilene Christian has scored the first 16 points of the second half. Joe Pleasant hitting a 3. ACU's lead is 21. As you look at the McMurray upcoming schedule, a couple of Division I teams there. They're going to Tarleton State and Stephenville on the 19th, a week from today. And then they're going to play back-to-back games at Incarnate Word of the Southland Conference. It's going to be on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day in San Antonio. That will be interesting. This is not exactly an easy schedule for McMurray. 4 straight D1 games that they're going to play. Corian Mason reverse with a left hand. Boy, it's been all ACU.
Yeah, great awareness from Mason to realize you can't take it up straight. You have to go for the reverse, and he has done a great job offensively and defensively this second half, along with the entire Wildcat team.
Abilene Christian leading the second half 18-0. Shaden Campbell goes in. McMurray's looking for something. Campbell created some looks in that first half. Extra pass. Another fake. And a turnover on the Warhawks. Mason.
Yeah, take a look at this. Reggie Miller taking it, dishing it inside. And that is a tough shot to defend.
Makes it look easy.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so the Warhawks scoreless so far in this second half, and their shooting percentage down to 36%. Foul off the ball. We mentioned it briefly off air before coming right back on, but Colby Cork has fouled out of the game with 14 minutes to go. Finishes with 2 points, 1 out of 1 from the field.
And by the way, he only played 6 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
6 minutes, 5 fouls. You're going to want to move on to the next game after that performance.
That's hard to do.
It is.
5 fouls in 6 minutes. There's another foul on McMurray. Ariane Simmons forcing that one. Mekhi Morris inbounding to Pleasant. Well, the starters doing their thing and doing exactly what the coaching staff wanted from them. That's a left-hander off glass from Pleasant.
Beautiful hook shot from Pleasant, just showing he can do a little bit of everything after making a three-pointer a couple minutes ago.
25-point lead. Campbell to try to create something a little out of control. May have drawn a foul first.
The best way I can describe the Wildcat defense, not only just this second half, but what we've seen from this team throughout this season, is a swarming defense. We didn't see that in the first half. I really think they came out, they were going through the motions, had a couple days off, and then they've really made the necessary adjustments to bring back that swarming defense.
Minor. And that's a long two, and DJ Worrell finally gets McMurray on the board in the second half, just to stop the bleeding a little bit. A take, it's a charge. Charge taken by Matt Pena. Emmanuel Allen with the offensive foul. McMurray's taken their fair of charges too. Oh, well, now Abilene Christian's clapping. May have turned this into a defensive foul. Did they switch it?
Yeah, I wonder if he was under the basket. It's hard to tell from that angle. And it looked like he was already moving back a little bit too before the contact, but not sure exactly.
They're going to look at it.
Yeah, not exactly sure about the changed call there.
Yep, they're going to stick with a blocking foul. Pena in the restricted area. That's a good call. Great look from our camera crew. This crew doing a great job, and that was a great look from Pena not being outside the arc. So it's free throws for Allen. 2 points for Allen in the game. Redshirt sophomore out of Oregon. Redshirted last year with Abilene Christian. Talking to Joe Golding, he kept thinking last year, man, I can't wait for people to see this kid, because all they're seeing is him in practice dunk it and be athletic and really push the team last year. Just didn't get to see the floor because of the redshirt season.
Yeah, and he's done a great job in his time out there, averaging only about 13 minutes a game, but around 7 points per game. So doing a good job in his time out on that court.
Minor, the fadeaway, no good. Abilene Christian doubling up McMurray. Half-court look. Clay Gaiman in there off the bench. Just a handful of minutes so far. Allen back side, and that's a good cut and a good pass, and Allen lays it in. Any type of trapping has been a challenge for McMurray. That jumper rolls away to Worrell. 8th rebound for Worrell. Campbell, extra pass, Minor, good on the three. First one from the outside for Remy Minor.
And that three-pointer, because of the second chance opportunity. Any good coach will tell you that a basketball should not hit the ground off of a rebound, because that is lazy defense, and that's a big reason why McMurray gets that three-pointer there, the second chance opportunity.
Gaiman missing that three. Campbell blocked right to a teammate, and it goes down. I didn't get a great look at who that was that put that in the basket. Campbell missed on the block, and that takes us to a timeout. Abilene Christian leading by 23.
Thrill of victory. And so is the Southland Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament in Katy. March 10th through the 14th at the Merrill Center. Get your tickets online at Ticketmaster.com. The countdown to Katy has begun.
For 45. For 45 years, Hanner Chevrolet GMC has helped business owners get the job done. And as your business elite dealer, we make sure you get the savings and service you deserve. Shop our great selection of work-ready trucks and vans in stock today and enjoy perks like hassle-free buying, priority service, and on-site upfits. And business owners, be sure to take advantage of year-end tax benefits. So stop by today and see why people drive from all over Texas to buy Hanner.
For years, I trained to be the best linebacker on the field. That drive made me a top performer at the NFL Combine, and I played 5 seasons in the NFL. Now I'm working toward another dream, building my own business, training athletes to help improve their performance. I want to be the best businessman I can, so I'm getting my MBA at ACU.
Get your degree online at acu.edu.
There's a look behind the scenes in our studio, flipping the switches, Hutton Harris and the student-led ACU TV crew. Here's us in the studios where we'll be all season long. Zach Carlisle and Owen Simpson having fun today here on ESPN, McMurray and Abilene Christian. And, you know, we're really fortunate to just be able to be in this studio all season long. COVID restrictions and the changes to Moody Coliseum push everything to the Teague Center this year. We're really fortunate and blessed to be able to be in here all season long. That's a 3 from Mekhi Morris. Abilene Christian is starting to feel it here in the second half.
Yeah, done a great job. 4 for 6 from beyond the arc in the second half, coming off 0 of 13 back in the first half. It's really been a tale of two halves for this team.
It feels like they're getting the same sort of looks. I mean, they were open in the first half. They just couldn't make anything.
Yeah, they weren't necessarily bad or forced shots. They just wouldn't fall for them. And that finally changing here in this final 20 minutes.
I think it's a foul on Cameron Steele, who was just crashing, going 100 miles an hour trying to get an offensive rebound. It's a foul on ACU. 26-point lead for the Wildcats. Second largest lead of this game. Jordan Sherman, the other side. Minor again had that taken away. And Daniels is fouled, but there's the strength again of ACU. Their hands are so active defensively. They're always stripping the ball loose from the opponent.
Absolutely. Again, they're just swarming this McMurray offense, and then they're finally getting those shots to fall on the other side.
28-7 is the scoring in this second half. Here's Damian Daniels at the line. Junior out of Kansas City. Had his moment at the free throw line a couple of years ago, goes 10 for 10 from the stripe in Abilene Christian's Southland Tournament semifinal win over Southeastern Louisiana. Sprung them to the game against New Orleans in the championship and on their way to the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. That ball is tapped away, but it's a turnover first to travel on Devon Webb. And that's where this team wants. They want the standard to be the NCAA tournament. They got there 2 years ago. We didn't get to have it last year, but they want to work their way back, and that's what they want at Abilene Christian.
Yeah, and picked second in the Southland Conference preseason poll right behind Stephen F. Austin. This team, without a doubt, will be competing.
Logan McLaughlin, another triple. Now they're starting to fly from distance. ACU's got 5 3-pointers in the second half. doubling up the Warhawks. Rob Charles. Stevens was stuck. Kicks it out, 10 to shoot. They lob into the paint and unable to convert as Webb. That ball's loose. Back-to-back takeaways.
Yeah, a little too much dribbling there by Mekhi Morris. Needs to give it up a little bit sooner next time.
Across the court, Stevens catch and shoot. And it's off of Stevens, out of bounds. Halfway through the second half, and it has been all Abilene Christian right away. Whatever was said at halftime, yeah, I think it worked.
You have to imagine that head coach Joe Golden gave an earful for it being as close as it was, only a 5-point lead for the Wildcats.
Gaiman fakes up and through, and it's batted out of bounds. It's probably a guy, we briefly talked about it in the first half. Clay Gaiman, the junior out of Missouri. Just they need to get his confidence up again because he is one of the elite scorers with his pure jump shot. This is a clean look for Gaiman, and he buries a three at the top.
You shoot 0% in the first half from beyond the arc, and that is number 6. 6 for 8, 75% in the second half.
Daniels gets his hand on it. Charles collects Stevens for 3. And finally one goes down for the Warhawks. Let's see if we can get the scoring going up here in the second half. We missed out on that in the first. Gaiman again. And already once you make one, you feel so much better about the next one for Clay Gaiman. I thought Sherman was going to pull the trigger in the corner. That's a great take, and that's an and one. Landon Stevens to the rack. A chance at a three-point play.
And they're finally getting something rolling on offense, up to 12 points now after being really shut down early to start the second half.
So Stevens will go to the line. 4th school in 4 years for Landon Stevens. Started at North Lake College, then was at Brookhaven College, was an all-conference, all-region player a couple of years ago. Last year was at Southwest Assemblies of God and is now at McMurray. Good player for the Warhawks. 29-point game. Steele thought maybe would launch it. Abilene Christian would tend to shoot. Mason, corner. Allen no good. Steele with a putback.
And a good rebound, good spin around. Nobody to cover him inside the paint. And a good second chance opportunity there for the Wildcats.
8 minutes to go. Charles, acrobatic, off window. Gaiman, he's fouled, and he's going to shoot a couple of free throws. Abilene Christian scored 29 in the first half, already 38 in the second. Take a look at the upcoming schedule for Abilene Christian. Ariane Simmons will be in town. Another cross-city matchup. That will be in 4 days' time here on ESPN Plus at Arkansas, who's been receiving votes from the SEC in Fayetteville, and then Dallas Christian on the 29th. And then Southland Conference play will finally be here starting January the 2nd. Clay Gaiman, free throws for Abilene Christian. It just feels like we're slowly building, and you're trying to play as many games as you can. Obviously, it's COVID and all the stuff, and we're getting there to conference play, because that's what's so exciting at this level is games in the Southland Conference.
Yeah, it really is interesting, though. Before that Southland Conference schedule starts, it's just polar opposite competition for the Wildcats. You go up against some Division II, Division III teams, and then you go up against some Power 5 conference teams that can really give you arguably your biggest challenges of the year.
It's a strange schedule, isn't
it?
It is. It really is. Because you got, let's see, ACU has hosted Howard Payne. They've hosted McMurray and Hardin Simmons, those D3 schools. But then, yeah, the likes of at Texas Tech and at Arkansas. Really good measuring stick games. And I can't really stress enough how important Wednesday night felt for the Abilene Christian perspective. To go to 17th ranked Texas Tech and to lose that game 51-44 and to have chances late to win the game. They just have to be thrilled. I mean, Joe Golding wants to win every single game, of course you do, but they really have to be thrilled with how that played out Wednesday night.
Yeah, and I think it shows that they can rely on their defense to certainly stay competitive, but it does raise questions about their offense and how they're going to perform throughout the rest of the year, and that they simply can't just rely on their defense to win the Southland Conference.
I think you could say the same about Texas Tech, too. One of the Big 12 Conference, one of the great defenses. They'll open up with Kansas in a little bit in Lubbock. Tobias Cameron for three. Jamison with the putback. That is no good. Jamison Richardson. Mason, another opportunity here. Another rebound attempt, but it's a foul first. With 6.5 to go.
And you love to see, despite the shots not falling, how aggressive they've been inside the paint. You're going to miss shots, especially as contested as those were. But just seeing that extra effort from these Wildcat players is going to bring some joy to any college basketball head coach.
Mason, no good on the first one. That was the 10th foul on McMurray in the half, so it's double bonus the rest of the way for ACU. Leading by 31. Free throws continue to be a challenge. Tobias Cameron couldn't get the putback. Boy, 3, 4, 5 chances on that possession for ACU. That's a long three. Rims out from Campbell. Richardson keeps it alive. Now Gaiman posting up. Extra pass. It's Mason. ACU's up over 70 points, and they have been deadly from a three-point line in the second half.
Again, it is totally a team of two halves, something that was arguably their kryptonite. It wasn't just arguably, it was their kryptonite in the first half, has become their strength here in the second.
Jordan Sherman couldn't get it. One-handed pass from Gaiman. Cameron skips it. Allen cut off. Tobias Cameron gets 1-2 fall. The redshirt junior out of Gold Coast, Australia.
A good job fooling the defenders. They thought he was going to take it straight up, but instead smartly goes for that reverse.
A 7-0 ACU run over the last 2.5 minutes. Campbell, corner three. Boy, he's had some good looks. Just haven't fallen. Stevens couldn't get the putback. And there's a bump on Rob Charles. Here is Tobias Cameron scoring.
A good smart decision there. Looks like a veteran move.
Cameron, the redshirt junior, played in 25 games a year ago. Was on the under-19 New Zealand national team that won a gold medal back in 2015. Boy, free throws are not good for ACU. Paul Hippler checking in for the Wildcats, a senior out of California.
Yeah, free throws, unless this changes before conference play, it could cost them a game or two. The way they've shot the ball at the free throw line just now at about 60% in this game, that's something you cannot take lightly.
It's their season average, 60% from the stripe. For ACU, where does that rank in the country? 276th. This ball is loose. It's a steal and a hammer. Logan McLaughlin.
And he might as well show off he can jump too. He's not the only guy on this Wildcat team off of the steal. Wow.
Doing his Superman impression. That was impressive. And that was a nice little baby hook. Andrew Stevenson, the freshman out of Killeen, Texas. Upcoming on the final 4 minutes today. Paul Hippler. Miscommunication and a turnover on Abilene Christian. Wildcats have scored 48 in the second half. McLaughlin with a flush. 8 points in the second half for Abilene Christian. It's their highest point total in any half this season. And there's still 4 minutes to go here in the second. The offense has exploded for Abilene Christian. And McMurray just hasn't had those answers here in the second half.
Yeah, the 7 second half three-pointers for the Wildcats have been crucial to extend off the short lead that they had at the break.
That's a triple. It's Minor from the outside. 8 points in the game. It's Hippler, no, on the three. Ball is tapped around to a foul. And you know the whole gym wants Paul Hippler to hit a three. I mean, he just provides, he's almost, I mean, he's the energy and the personality of this team. You love guys like that on your squad, and Paul is that for ACU.
Yeah, he really has been the hype man for this team throughout every single game.
It's his nickname, right?
Yeah, he brings that energy to this Wildcat team. And you love to see some action he gets out on the court.
McLaughlin runs it up. .33-point lead, ball tapped away. Stays with ACU. Charge inside on Tobias Cameron. We've seen so many charges taken by both sides in today's game.
Yeah, and that one was an easy call. When you lower that head and lower the shoulder, 9 times out of 10, the official's going to call it against you.
So McMurray's in this stretch of where they're just going to learn from all these games that they're playing up against these D1 schools. And we'll see what they look like in the American Southwest Conference NCAA Division III. McLaughlin. Hippler goes in, and that's a foul as Cameron Steele was trying to find his way to the hoop. 2:50 to go. Speaking of Abilene Christian, their women's team, we were looking at their schedule. Big game for them tomorrow. They get to play 10th-ranked Texas A&M in College Station. No doubt that'll be a fun trip to see one of the best teams in women's college basketball.
Yeah, without it, and a team who also hasn't lost a game yet this year as well. They finally get, well, it's not even possibly, it is their biggest test of the season, and a good experience, too, for that program.
Free throw no good from Steele. Yeah, I think Abilene Christian's in a pretty good spot with their two basketball programs, the men's and women's side. Got two really good teams, two really good coaches, too. Up ahead, extra pass. It's Hippler for three. No. Tapped out to TJ Hilliard. Opportunity to run. And putback is no good as well from Stevenson. Cameron, he'll launch a three. And Hippler tracks down the O board. McLaughlin, boy, he can shoot the rock. Quick release. It's a high ceiling for this freshman.
And he won't necessarily show it in a game, but McLaughlin has what I would describe as limitless range. When you take a look at what he does in practice, he can shoot from just about anywhere. And he shows off a little bit of that range right there.
This is Minor trying to answer with the three. And a rebound to Richardson. And also out there on the floor in the far corner, it's number 13, Peyton Brooks, the freshman out of Abilene, playing in his home city for the Wildcats. Ball's tapped around. Bodies all over the place. You got the spread out chairs over there, the COVID regulations. You got the benches all spread out and in multiple rows. Bodies all over the place. The ACU side. Richardson for two. .75 seconds to go. Hilliard, no good. It was close for 30 minutes, and then it was dominated right from the inbound in the second half. All ACU, 54 points in the second half today.
And I think that shows that this team has the ability to shoot, but also they want to make that also a first half performance as well. They don't want to be a one half team.
Right. It's Richardson, no good. Not much of a difference between the game and shot clock here. And a foul. We're not quite done yet. Still just under 22 seconds. We get to work together again in January. Looking forward to some Southland Conference games this year.
Yeah, certainly a lot of games that we've had the chance to call basketball-wise in December. A lot of them have been blowouts for Abilene Christian, but definitely going to see a lot more competition going forward. It's going to be a fun experience in 2021.
That's right. Lamar and Abilene Christian will be our first doubleheader, January the 2nd. Can't wait for that. Abilene Christian will have a men's game next week as well. The women will have one as well. And the final seconds run off here at the Teague Center. And ACU improves to 6-1. McMurray 0-5. Once again, the final score, it's Abilene Christian 83 and McMurray 46. This has been a presentation of the Southland Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Owen Simpson, the whole crew, led by Hutton Harris, saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.